Where'd it go?
Okay.
Good morning. Hello, friends. I got my friend tee on. It's actually Mike's friend tee, but I am wearing it. And Andrew is doing the dishes. And we're getting ready to head out. It's been a fun trip up here in the Shenandoah Valley. Really beautiful and historic.
Mommy,
Yeah?
on the cover.
Yeah, she's gonna use the black iPad on the drive back today. So everybody's doing their chores to clean up. We clean up some at the house, but mostly here because we have water and electricity really easily, and so if you're gonna wipe it down and stuff, you need those things. Whoa, what's going on?
Trying to do this.
Not very effectively.
Here. I'm hiding. Leave it up. Hello.
Okay, get going. I love our house though, our RV house. It just is all so effective and cute. Hi, Dad. This is a really nice RV park. Really nice sights. But it doesn't mean you still don't have to do this job, huh, Dad? So what makes it a nice site is you can pull in and walk right out onto concrete. And then you've got your table area and then a huge grassy area next to each site. Not all RV parks are created equal, and definitely some cost more, but sometimes you can have just as high a quality RV park for the same price. As for how you figure that out, we kind of go off of reviews and we look at pictures, and so you can tell real quick in a picture if it's just like a gravelly, junky site or if it's just dirt, and then from reviews. But also if it's super cheap, we know it's not going to be super nice, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But this place is beautiful. On our site, we look out on the beautiful Shenandoah Valley. Beautiful. Okay, it's time to pull the slide in. Maybe I'll leave this over here so you can watch. Okay, the only thing is we need to push these things a little further. You don't want anything falling out and then getting stuck, especially on the way in. I mean, you can get like a sock or something, and that is a bummer. Okay, and I think I'm gonna pull this one in now. Everybody asked if it hurts our floors, and it does not. We laid these floors right on top of the other floors, and the slide isn't bothered by it at all. I don't know if everybody's slide would be like that, but ours has been. All done. Okay, we're on our way. The older kids went in the other car and left just a few minutes ago, and we've got a pretty empty car here, so should be pretty easy. Except he has to pull the RV. I just get to sit here and talk to him while he does so. Okay, so we are, it's lunchtime, and we stopped to go to the bathroom, and so we're just gonna go ahead and see if we can make lunch work here in the trailer. The older kids are separate, so that makes it easier because there's not as much food, but they're not here, so we don't need as much. So we're just gonna make it work. So Peter boiled some water in our saucepan, or in our non-stick pan, because we don't have a saucepan in here yet. We keep forgetting to get one to make some ramen. Asher's making PB&J, that's what Jude's having. Pearl and I had some cold quiche. Are you gonna have quiche or are you gonna have a sandwich?
Sandwich.
And then we got some chips out of a vending machine here at the rest stop.
Yep.
Works. Better than eating at a restaurant. Cookie lady, cookie lady.
I'm gonna read you
Cookie lady, cookie lady, cookie lady. Cookie lady, cookie lady, cookie lady. Cookie lady, cookie lady. Hey, all done? Getting some water and going to the car. Okay, we're home. And I've had a hankering to make bread for several days now, so I'm gonna do it. Jude is the only one home because the rest of the kids, we ate dinner and turned around and they went to church activities. But look what came in the mail while we were gone. A huge 50-pound bag of flour. One thing that I found interesting is that I lost that much weight. That's kind of crazy to me that I used to carry that much around. But I'm also super excited to make some bread with it. It's like an artisanal bread making flour. So I'm gonna start making bread, and it just helps me feel grounded and happy. And it makes the house smell good. It makes everybody feel grounded and happy when they smell it and when they eat it. I won't be eating it. I really don't miss bread too much, but it does make me happy to make the bread, which might sound crazy, but it does. I am getting a bucket in the mail for this. I just haven't gotten it yet. So this bread recipe is on our website. You can go check it out. And it has salt, honey, yeast, butter, milk, and loads of flour and water. So if you have a Bosch, it makes your life a lot easier when making bread. It can make 5 to 6 loaves at a time we've been using this for almost 20 years. It hasn't been hard on the motor. I know that a lot of people get the beautiful mixers. What are those called? I don't remember what they're called, but they're beautiful, but they can only handle a couple of loaves. And if you do a lot of bread making in it, I've heard it burns out the motors. So if you want to make bread and you want to make it easier on yourself, get a Bosch. It makes it super easy. I'll put a link to that on our website too, on the kind that we have. Okay, one of the things I learned about bread making, I went to an actual class. Marissa from Living a Good Story and I think it was 2 of us. We went to a bread making class when I was in Utah. And I could never get my bread to turn out. It was always, the loaves were always like this big, and I felt like I was following the rules exactly. Well, what they define as warm water was different than what I was thinking. When I went to the class, the baker said, warm water is just before it burns. And I was always adding like lukewarm water. That will not activate your yeast. So once I did that, everything worked perfectly. So just keep that in mind if you're having a hard time with your bread flour raising. Another thing I do is I keep my yeast, I get a big package of it at Costco, and then I keep it in a jar in the freezer so it'll last longer. If you don't want to use honey, you can also use not tequila, agave. They make tequila from agave, sorry. You can use agave. It's a little bit lighter tasting than honey, so if you want that, you can. I've never made it with artisanal bread flour. I usually just make it with regular old unbleached flour. But it's supposed to be a little bit lighter, not quite as dense, so I'm excited to try that out. I'm excited to try out lots of different things. One of my dreams is to be able to make an artisanal loaf of bread, like something as good as you'd find, from a bakery in France. I know that's high-minded, but might as well shoot for the stars. So another thing that makes bread making really hard is that moisture levels are always changing in the air, and that matters for your bread. And so, and your elevation. So why I like the Bosch is, one of the things I learned at that class is that you're not necessarily adding flour according to directions. And you'll notice when you go look at my recipe that I did develop myself. It was pretty close, I just changed a couple things. That it says 13 to 16 cups of flour. And that's because you're going to stop adding flour once your dough starts to do certain things, and that's really easy to tell in the Bosch. So I'll tell you when we get there. But another little trick is for your honey, you can oil the measuring cup before so it just slides right out. That's just a little thing. Okay, another thing that's really important that I didn't do before is letting your bread have time to you're creating a yeast like pasty state, right? So you have to give the yeast something to eat. So you're gonna you can do it with just water and yeast, or not just water. You can do it with like water and sugar and yeast or milk or honey. But I go ahead and make a paste with the dough, and then I let it sit there for a half hour, and it develops a really good rich flavor too that makes your bread taste breadier. Just that really yummy complexity. So it takes a little bit longer. You might be anxious, but You know, I think on the recipe I say 15 to 30. Just set the timer for 30 and you'll find something to do. I get a little bit more flour in there. The great thing is, because you're adding according to a specific amount of flour, but more of a texture, that if you lose count, because this is up to 16 cups of flour, it's okay. It's more of a texture. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. Also, I had a great lid back in the day, but it's been lost. I also had a blender here. It's been lost. You can see, where is it? Somewhere on here. Back in the day, we left it by the oven and it melted, and I had filled it with hot glue, and that's held for, what, 10 to 15 years? Okay, I'm gonna get it in this paste consistency, like this. I'm gonna get it just like this, and I'm gonna leave it alone for 30 minutes, like I said. Another little trick from my bread making. You can add the salt to the paste at the beginning here, but salt actually can kill yeast. And it's okay because it's got a lot of other ingredients in it, but I figure there's no reason to kill my yeast. And so I just wait and add the salt when I add the rest of the flour later. But it's awesome. Also, the Bosch is awesome, you guys. You should get one. Ask for one for Christmas or your birthday, or just get yourself one because, you know, it will make cheaper, tastier, healthier bread. All right, Mike's back from dropping kids off. Oh, look how bubbly. It smells delicious and sweet. I'm making bread.
What kind of bread are you making?
Just regular yummy bread. Okay, I'm gonna keep working on it. So like I said, I don't even know how many cups of flour in here. I think I have about 8. But I'm gonna turn it on. Come over here. I'm gonna turn it on 1. I'm just gonna leave it going. I'm gonna keep adding, and it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm not doing it by measurement but by texture. I'm gonna keep adding. Come look. You see how it sticks to the sides? Mike knows this. He knows
I do.
I'm gonna add it until it starts to clean off the sides. Oh!
There it goes.
What?
Where'd it go? It just disappeared right into the dough.
What?
Never done that before.
That was a first.
What happened?
Just take the little cover thing off.
Mom, what happened?
The measuring cup
It ate my measuring cup.
disappeared.
Ew.
Hello.
How
There it
did
is.
Get in there.
I was too busy talking.
Mom doesn't usually talk this much while she's working on bread.
Then why should
She can't do both at the same time.
Guess not.
You shouldn't have a cooking show anytime soon.
Okay. Hey. Okay. I guess I'll get a new
You want
one.
to get a different one now?
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
That tastes so good.
Some of them are just bigger than others.
Oh, that's really good. This flour is really good.
It's a good flour, huh?
Yeah. I got it on Amazon.
Better put a link.
Okay. Get closer. It's better to add, better for it to be sticky if you want it to be really soft and fluffy. And you get. Okay, we're getting close though. Come here. Another thing is, I'll hear it kind of bear down.
Oh, the actual engine or the motor.
Yeah. And so I'll turn it to a 2. See how the
Still not quite there
Not
though.
quite there. I'm going to do a half cup because of where we're at. There we go. Oh, there's that. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to let it do it for what? How long do I stay on here? Yeah, probably like 6 minutes. I'll just leave it just like that. It'll do its thing.
For 6 minutes.
Okay. Oh that's good. Springy. I like it a little sticky with my white bread.
I touch this.
Well, why don't you touch this?
Okay.
Hold on, let me pull a little bit of that off there and then you can have it. Put some flour on the counter and then I'm gonna dump out the dough. I keep tasting this, it tastes so good. It's got a lot of complexity to it, some natural sweetness. I guess it matters what flour you are using. This flour has about 12% protein, which is mid-range. It's good for breads. A low protein would be good for like pastries, and a high protein would be good for like really chewy breads. So someday I'll have all of them in my pantry. I know it's sticky, but I like it that sticky. It's a little harder to work with, but it makes this bread so soft and yummy.
Yep.
So if you want to be even more natural, you can grease these with coconut oil or butter or olive oil, but
Canola oil from Costco.
I put it in a bowl. I zeroed it out once the bowl was on there, and then I threw it all in. Now I'm going to divide that by 5.
Do your quick math.
Not sticky.
Divide them in your head. Okay.
I took some of
You
this.
use the calculator. 851.8
Mama, I took some of
would be
this.
an even fifth.
851 exactly!
Exactly.
So then, you want to see how I make it into a loaf?
I
have
do.
my ball. I push it in on itself. Like that. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a very good teacher. It would be cool if I had like an instructional channel, but I have a vlog. So you get to see us come home in the
Deal
RV
with it.
and make bread. Okay, watch me this time.
I'm gonna watch.
Here's my
real
clump.
close. It's like making like making a burrito or something, kind of.
That's true. 856 it is. The
What?
last loaf will just have to be.
That must be a cheap scale.
Domestic sheep are quadrupedal. Ruminant mammals typically kept as livestock.
She's always listening, but not always hearing properly.
Sometimes I'll make one of these into a cinnamon or pesto loaf or a cheese loaf, garlic loaf. But this time I'm just doing bread with the new flour. I just want to see what it does. I always feel sad when I put the warm dough into the cool pans. Like it's like, oh, it's so cold. And then I do this.
Oh, yes, I need this thing. Thank you.
My tea towel.
This one.
So then I put them all like this.
This is the dough machine. By the dough. Okay.
Ooh, cover it up like it's a surprise.
Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes. If you don't have an Alexa yet,
30 minutes.
I'm going to put
starting
Living
now.
Chat on the website too. Then when that's done, that won't be done, but that's when I preheat the oven. And then I might have a few minutes of a preheated oven, but you want to be able to put it in right when it's ready and not wait another 15 minutes while the oven is used.
Totally.
That could be a disaster.
Total.
Those of you who don't like it when people eat and talk, this might not be the channel for you. I'm just kidding.
Since you're always eating.
Like, comment, subscribe. The oven just beeped that it's ready. And so are these. Hallelujah. I'm gonna throw those in the oven. I wondered if they should be a little bit higher, but I think they're okay. I'm gonna throw them in the oven and bake them for about 30 minutes. Okay, it's all in. I need to set a timer though. Okay, while that bread bakes, I'm going to take a shower and put on my pajamas. I'll see you on the other side. Good night, guys. Good night.
Hey, Mommy.
Hey, dude.
Mommy,
What?
I want those thing.
Okay. The bread is done, and it looks beautiful. Okay, right when I get it out, I take it out, and then I do slip it out to cool, and it looks really beautiful. You can see that the heat in the oven is a little lopsided because this side is a lot lighter than that side, but that's okay. It works for a home bakery.
Now it's late. You got your pajamas on.
Yeah, no makeup on.
We gotta try out this bread. Well,
Smells
does
good.
it smell good?
Yeah, do you want some?
Does it pass the smell test?
Where is the butter? Oh, there it is. Do you want some butter on it?
Sure.
I didn't cut yours very thick, so it's probably hard to taste. But what do you think?
Good. Good then.
I think so too. It's got a good crust on it, a good density, good chew.
I don't know enough about bread to be like, Ro.
I don't know, I think it's good.
That's really good.
This is my prettiest loaf right back here. So if I want to give one away, that'd be one.
Why would you want to give one away?
I know, I always say that, and then like 3 days later, they're all gone. So we came out to close up the RV so we could head to bed. You guys, it feels really nice out, like kind of cool out. One of my favorite things about this part of the country is that there are 4 solid seasons. So here, it's the end of August, and it's cooler than it was 2 weeks ago, and cooler than it was 2 weeks before that, and in 2 weeks it's going to be cooler. I know that sounds like a big deal, but I grew up in... Not a big deal? Well, yeah, not a big deal, but I grew up in Houston where, like, you weren't seeing a change in temperatures till, like, I don't know, it was hot when you were trick-or-treating. Or, like, other places where winter comes too soon. I feel like it comes each season comes exactly when it's supposed to. And I really appreciate that because I love change, and the world is made to change, especially this part of the world. So anyways, we love you guys. Thanks for being a part of our lives. Thanks for, I don't know, we really like having a YouTube channel, and we like being friends with all of you and interacting with you. Hope you're having a great day. Life is great. Baking bread is fun. Cooking is fun. Baking is fun. Hanging out with your family and doing things at home is fun. And it's even funner to have you along. So have a great day or night or whatever it is, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.